Hello, my viewer. This is Azaza Kafa. Today, I will teach you about the database system concept and architecture based on question and answer, that master learning through question and answer. Please follow carefully every discussions. Question number 1. What is a data model? A physical device for storing data. B, a set of concepts to describe the structure, operations, the constraints of the database. C, a tool for designing computer networks. D, a programming language for web development. The correct answer is B, a set of concepts to describe the structure, the operations, and the constraint of the database. A data model is defined as a set of concepts that describe the structure of a database, the operation for manipulating the structures, and certain constraints that the database should obey. Why the other operations are incorrect? A physical device for storing data. This one is incorrect because it's hardware components like hard drives, hard disks, or SSD, which are used to store the physical data. But a data model, however, it is an abstract representation that defines how data is organized and manipulated, not the physical device. C, a tool for designing computer network. This option pertains to the network design and architecture, which involves the layout and configuration for the network components. A data model is specially relating to database and organizations, not a network design. D, a programming language for web development. This option describes languages like HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, which is used for creating and managing web content. A data model does not refer a programming language, but rather than a conceptual framework for organizing and managing data within a database. Please don't forget to subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. If you enjoy the video, like, share it for your friends. It really helps out. Thank you for watching. Question number 2. What does the term database schema refer to? A conceptual data stored at a moment in a time. B, a blueprint or a description for a database structure, including table, fields, and relationship. C, a backup copy of the database. D, a programming interface for a database. The correct answer is B, the blueprint or description of a database structure, including tables, fields, and relationship. A database schema defines how data is organized within the databases. That includes the tables, the field or the column within those tables, and the data type of each field, and the relation between the tables. This schema acts as a blueprint for how the database is constructed and how data can be stored, retrieved, and manipulated. It is essential for ensuring data integrity and consistency within the database. Why the others are incorrect? A, the actual data stored at a moment in a time. This describes instances. The actual data stored means the database instances. It's rather than schema. The database instance refers to the actual data that is stored in a database at specific point of time. It represents the current state of the data, which can change as a data is added or modified or deleted. In contrast, schema is static and defines the structure of the database, not the data itself. Not the data itself. That is the answer. Is correct. C, a backup copy of the database. Then this one also is correct. This option refers the database backup. Is schema is not a backup. The backup is a copy of the database data that is stored separately to prevent the data losses. The backups are crucial for data recovery in case of corruption or losses, but they do not define the structure of or the organization of the database. The schema is not a backup. It is the description how the data is stored or organized. D, the programming interface for the database. Then this one also is incorrect because this database API, it is a database or API, an application programming interface API, which allows a developer to interact with the database programmatically. An API provides a method for querying and manipulating data, but not define the structure of the database itself. The schema is concerned with the organization of the data, while API is about how to access and manipulate the data. Question number 3. What is meant by a database state or instances? The database states or instances. A fixed structure of a database. B, the current content of the database at specific moment in time. C, the security policy of a database. D, the programming language used to create a database. The correct answer is B, the current content of the database at specific moment in a time. A database states refer to the data stored in a database at specific or particular points in a time. It reflects the current value of all the data elements in a database, which can change as data is added or updated or deleted. The database states or instances is the actual data stored at a given moment. It changes whenever data is added, updated, or deleted. Why the other options are incorrect? A fixed structure of the database. Yes, this is incorrect. Why? This option refers the database schema, which defines the structure of the database. This includes table, field, data types, and the relationship between the tables. The schema is static and does not change frequently, while the states of the database can be changed regularly. C, the security policy of the database. Yes, this one also wrong. This refers the rule and the measures implemented to protect the database from unauthorized access and breaches. These security policies are not relating to the content or status of the database. Security policy is a statement, the statement written what to do and what not to do. D, the programming language used to create the database. Yes, this one also false. This refers the language such as a SQL that are used to define, manipulate, and query the database. It does not describe the states or instances or database states or database instances. Question number 4. What is the main purpose of the three schema architecture? A, to make the database only accessible by administrator. B, to separate the user view, conceptual structure, and the physical storage details. C, to combine all database layer into one single structure. D, to encrypt data automatically. The purpose of the three schema architecture is B, to separate the user view, the conceptual structure, and the physical storage details. The three schema architecture is a framework that helps in organizing the database system into the three levels: the internal schema, the conceptual schema, or external schema. For example, in the first schema, the internal schema, this level describes how data is stored physically in databases. In the figure below, it shows the internal schema. Here, the staff structure. The staff table has the staff number as an integer, the branch number as an integer, first name as a car, last name as a car, then salary as a float. In this table, this is the internal level of schema. The conceptual schema is define what data is stored and the relationship among the data. And then the last one is external, especially this is the user view of the data that allow different users to have different views of the same data, as shown in the conceptual, in the figure, in the conceptual level, the staff number, first name, last name, date of birth, salary, branch number. This is the conceptual schema. In this schema, this is the whole schema. But from this, maybe the user one, in the external schema, the user one may view some of the data. And then user two, maybe another data. For example, if this one assume this is for employee database, but from this one employee may view different, employee two maybe view another based on their roles, based on the level of roles. And then like this, the three schema is especially the purpose of schema is to separate the user view, that means the internal, the external, and the conceptual level or conceptual schema. The third one is the physical schema or internal schema. Why the others are incorrect? A, to make the database only accessible by administrator, this is false. This is incorrect because the three schema architecture is not restricting access to the administrators. Rather than, it is about providing different view of users while maintaining unified database structures. C, also to combine all database layers into one simple structure, then this one also is wrong. This is incorrect as the purpose of the schema architecture is to separate the layers, the user layer or the user view, the conceptual, and the physical layers. That's to separate all of them, not to combine them. Combining them would defeat the purpose of abstraction and independency. The other D, to encrypt the data, this also incorrect. This because the three schema does not deal with the encryptions. It focus the structure and the structure of the database rather than encryption or security measure. Please don't forget to subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. If you enjoyed the video, like, share it for your friends. It really helps out. Thank you for watching. Question number 5. Which of the following best describes the conceptual data model? A model focusing on file storage mechanism. B, a high-level representation using entities, attributes, and the relationship that reflects how users perceive data. C, a model that specifies the physical storage details. D, a model used exclusively for hardware design. The correct answer is B, a high-level representation using entities, attributes, and relationships that reflects how users perceive a data. Based on the above question for explanation, we define or we describe everything there. The conceptual data model, this model provides the high-level view of the data, focusing on entities. When you say entity, the real-world object or concept. When you say entity, the lot of maybe a person, or maybe an object, or maybe an event, any, or maybe a concept. And then their attributes, the properties. For example, a person's attribute or properties, the person has a name, the person has an age, the person has an ID, just like that. And the other one is the relation between them, the relation between entities. It is designed to be understandable to user and reflects how they perceive data in the context of their needs. Why the others are incorrect? A model focusing on a file storage mechanism, this is false. This describes the physical data model. It's not a conceptual, which is concerned with how data is stored in a system rather than user conceptualizing the data. C, a model that specific physical storage details. This also refer the physical data model, which details how data is stored on hardware, including file structure or storage mechanisms, rather than abstract representation of data. D, a model used exclusively for hardware design. This is also incorrect, as a conceptual data models are not limited to the hardware design. They are primarily concerned with the logical structure of the data and how it is organized conceptually, independent of the physical consideration. Question number 6. Which data model organizes data into two-dimensional tables? A, the hierarchical model. B, a network model. C, relational model. D, object-oriented model. The correct answer is relational model. This relational model has two-dimensional. It has two-dimensional, or it is called two-dimensional model or two-dimensional tables. It's also known as relations. Each table consists of rows and columns, where each row represents a record and the other column represents an attributes. This model allows a complex query and relationship between different tables through the use of the key. This key will help us in order to relate the two tables or these two-dimensional tables as a key, primary key, and the foreign key. Why the others are incorrect? A, hierarchical model. This model organizes data into the tree structure, not the two-dimensionals, where each record has a single parent and have multiple childs. It does not use two-dimensional tables. B, a network model is similar to hierarchical model. This network model allows for more complex relationship, but still does not organize data into two-dimensional tables. Instead, it uses the graph structures. D, object-oriented model. This model organizes data as an object, similar to object-oriented programming. It does not use two-dimensional table, but rather it encapsulates data and behavior together as an object. In a summary, the relational model is specially designed to use two-dimensional table for data organizing and make it distinct from the other model as we see on the above. Question number 7. What does logical data independence mean? A, the ability to change the physical storage without affecting the conceptual schema. B, the capacity to add new data without increasing storage costs. C, the ability to modify the conceptual schema without changing the external user view. D, the possibility of copying data to another database. Please don't forget to subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. If you enjoy the video, like, share it for your friends. It really helps out. Thank you for watching. The correct answer is the ability to modify the conceptual schema without changing the external user's view. The logical data independency allows changes to the the conceptual schema of the database without affecting the external schema or application program, ensuring that the structure modification does not disrupt user view or the application. Why the others are incorrect? A, the ability to change the physical storage without affecting the conceptual schema. This describes the physical dependency, not the logical data independence. This does not data dependent. The physical data independence allows changes to the physical storage of data without affecting the conceptual schema. B, the capacity to add new data without increasing storage costs. This one also this statement does not accurately describe the logical data independence. It is more relating to the data management and storage efficiency rather than the data independency. D, the possibility of copying data to another database. This one also is a data migration or replication, which is unrelated to the concept of logical data independence. It does not involve the independence of schema or the structure of database. Question number 8. Which model represents data in the tree-like structure? A, relational model. B, object relational model. C, network model. D, hierarchical model. The correct answer is hierarchical model, because hierarchical model is the tree-like structures, and where each record has a single parent and it can have a multiple child or children. It represents the relationship of parent and child relations. Why the others are incorrect? Relational model, this is incorrect. This relational model is two-dimensional. This organizes data into a table or relation, where each table consists of row and column, two-dimensional. It does not use the tree-like structure, rather than it's the flat structure that allows for complex relationships through the foreign key. C, network model. This model is allow for a complex relationship than the hierarchical model, including many-to-many relationship, because in the network model they may have this many-to-many relationship, because every nodes or every entities must communicate or must relationship with different entities. It does not strictly represent data in a tree-like structure. Instead, it uses a graph structure. D, object relational model. This model extends the relational model by incorporating object-oriented feature. It does not represent data-like structure, tree-like structures. How do the conceptual and the physical data model differ? A, the conceptual model deals with the user view, while the physical model handles security policy. B, the physical model represents business rule, and the conceptual model represents hardware configuration. C, both models serve the same purpose. D, the conceptual model defines what data is stored and its relationship, while the physical model details how data is stored in hardware. The correct answer is D. The conceptual model defines what data is stored and its relationship, while the physical model details how data is stored on hardware. The conceptual data model, this provides the high-level view of the data, focusing on what data is stored in a database and the relationship among each data element. It is more abstract and designed to understandable to the users and the stakeholders. The relationship representing entities, attribute, relationship without getting into the technical detail of how data is implemented. The physical data model is a model describes how the data is physically stored in a database. It includes detail about the data storage structure, the file format, indexing methods, hardware configuration. It is more technical and is intended for the data administrator and developers who need to understand how data is implemented in a database. Why the others are incorrect? A, the conceptual model does deal with user view, but it does not specify handle security policy that is typically part of the physical model or database management system feature. C, the physical model does not represent the business rule. Rather, it focuses on the technical aspects of the data storage. The business rules are often represented in the conceptual model as they define how data can be used and related. B, this statement is incorrect because the conceptual and the physical model serve different purpose, not the same. The conceptual model is about what data is needed and how it relates with the physical model is about how data is stored and accessed. Please don't forget to subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. If you enjoy the video, like, share it for your friends. It really helps out. Thank you for watching.